Count. Yes, he's getting very tired and hurt. Oh, this will be an unfortunate turnaround for Armstrong, where their experience has been. Now that he went down there from exhaustion, and quite rightly, Rafferty is not calling that. It is now, and he's collapsed there, and he's got to count him out. That's unusual. He could have stopped it at that point in the 9th round. Absolutely amazing. He fell into the referee's arms, didn't know where he was. Oh, and he's throwing punches. He doesn't realise it's the referee. What do you think of this? This kid doesn't know where he is. I've never seen that before, Terry.
Neither have I.
It wasn't deliberate. He didn't know where he was. He just collapsed.
And he's collapsed again.
Right, who didn't enjoy watching that much? Yeah, lady in green at the back. Why not?
It's terrible.
Why?
I think they should stop it. You know, as soon as it gets to that. It's like last night I was watching that fight with Stretch and that. And when Eubank knocked him out, and he stood up and he's like this, going like that. They should have stopped it then, but like Stretch was going, yeah, to carry on, and they let it carry on. They should have stopped it as soon as
Why are you watching it if you don't like it?
Bloodthirsty.
Bloodthirsty. Right, anyone else who didn't enjoy that much? Yes, gentleman over here.
Yeah, I think it's barbaric. If they were animals, it wouldn't be allowed. It would be against the law. It's been banned in several countries. There have been 7 deaths a year on average since 1945. There's a constant history of brain damage, which is shown in post-mortems. I think, too, that the way that it's brought into people's homes through television is very frightening, because kids can watch that, and they know it's not a video, they know it's not a film, they know it's real.
What do you think about the guys who keep going back for more, though?
I don't know, I think they're exploited. I think that there's a great promise about making good through boxing, but ultimately, most people don't make good at all, because they don't escape uninjured.
Well, Michael Armstrong, who we saw there, I'm glad to say you're looking a lot better tonight. You do still keep going back for more, don't you? Why?
Well, the main reason is, it's like this, how can you put it now? When you're young, yeah, and you want something in life, and there's only one thing that you can get, you've got to work hard for it. And boxing is what I'm best at doing. And if I want a big house in the countryside, if I want nice cars, the only way I'm going to do it is through boxing. It's something what I'm best at doing.
What about what the gentleman was saying, that you're being exploited?
Well, I'm Michael's brother. I don't feel that we are being exploited in the slightest, because when I got into boxing, and we both got into boxing, we knew what the scar was basically. We knew there's a risk of brain damage. We know there's a risk of detached retinas, etc. But it's our choice. Yeah? Now, with boxing, you've got young guys on the street. The way we see it, you work so hard in the gym to train up for a fight. The main reason why Michael kept getting up then, because he had the willpower to win. That's what you train so hard for.
But if you're worried about the long-term effects, are you ever going to be able to enjoy?
No, we're not worried about the long-term effects. As far as I'm concerned, the same with Michael, boxing's like a physical game of chess. It's one man against the other. Yeah? And you use your skills to win a fight. In the long term, the best outcome is going to be you becoming a world champion. Now, you've got young lads out on the street. With boxing, it's a very good way of disciplining young people. This boxing disciplined me. Boxing disciplined Michael.
All right, well, I'm sure that we'll come back to this, but I'm just interested in why you keep going back in there for more. Now, John Gilbertson, you were very badly injured in an amateur fight, weren't you?
Yeah, but he was.
How long were you in hospital?
4.5 months altogether.
And you were in a coma for nearly 3 weeks?
19 days, yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, I got knocked out. I was in boxing, like, it's in the last round, 3rd round, like, and took a blow. I took a standing count, which is an 8 compulsory count if you take a heavy blow. And I carried on, and I got put on the canvas, and I got up again, and got counted out. You know, the contest was over, and my trainer sat me on the edge of the ring. He said, "Let's go back to changing rooms," and I said, let's wait until the next bout starts, because everyone will look at me like, you know, bit of pride, like. So went back to changing rooms, and my trainer, he sat over there, like, he was squeezing water on my head out of a sponge to keep me aware. And then I lost consciousness, and my heart stopped, and they had to give me the kiss of life. Another trainer from another club gave me the kiss of life. And then the paramedics come, took me to hospital. My heart stopped again on the way to hospital.
And you had to have 9 hours of brain surgery, didn't you?
To remove blood clots, yeah.
And how long did it take you to get back on your feet?
Well, that was in February, the 10th of February, and I actually got out my wheelchair, like, give it back to the hospital in September.
Now, you're coaching kids now to box.
Yeah.
Which seems incredible. Aren't you worried about anything like that happening to them, or the long-term effects on them?
Well, can't say the long-term effects. Obviously, I wouldn't like anyone to go through what I've been through. It's very hard, like, you know, to get back on your feet again and get your life together again. I wouldn't like anyone to go through it again. But as you said, training the kids, I mean, it's all I know. I love the sport, still love the sport. I'd get in the ring now if I could. I still love the sport, and it's all I know, so, you know.
Well, up front tonight we have an anaesthetist who, in fact, advised the British Medical Association to call for boxing to be banned. Geoffrey Cundy, should these guys be more worried about the long-term effect?
I'm sure they should. What we found was that if you hit someone on the head, you do damage their brain, and the damage is proportional to the number of blows to the head and the force of the blows to the head. You heard what could happen to the eye. Well, just think of what is happening with the brain, which is relatively loose inside the skull, has the consistency of jelly, and is being banged about by these punches.
So what's the worst sort of state that a boxer can end up in? Like,
well, dead from a single punch, bleeding inside the skull, as John had, which puts pressure on the brain and can cause death rapidly. If he rides his punches and builds up damage to his brain, then he can develop the punch-drunk syndrome. And about 15% of boxers who finish a professional career are likely to develop the punch-drunk syndrome.
It's frightening, isn't it? Well, in our other corner tonight, Mickey Duff, the international boxing promoter. Now, you've made a career out of guys going through this sort of thing. Do you have any trouble sleeping nights when you hear that?
None at all. You know, I'd like to ask this gentleman how many footballers he's examined and rugby players, and I would like to know whether their brain is subject to less damage than the boxers.
But in boxing, the idea is to hit the other guy. It's not like the others, is it?
I know that, and let me say right away, it is difficult to defend boxing from a physical and a moral point of view, but we don't live in a perfect world. Boxing, like many other things, does not belong in a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world. And therefore, I say, we live in a free world and a democratic world. I remember many years ago, and I've been on this program, this type of program many times, so I'm not reading from a script, it's just the things that I remember. There was a race in Le Mans, a car race, and the car went off the track and went up in the stands and killed 80 people. They didn't know they were going to get killed. The boxers know what risks they face. The British Medical Association about 5 years ago brought out a dossier about all the damage that boxing can do. The last people to read it were the professional boxers or the amateur boxers. They were fully aware of the dangers. Now,
Geoffrey Cundy, they know the dangers, they accept that. It's just like motor racing, isn't it?
Well, I think if you go to Le Mans now, you'll find some very high guards in front of the stands to prevent any cars flipping over into the stands. And in rugby, you will find foam round the posts, and in schools, you'll find that a lot of schools